Well, hello there. Welcome to Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics. And instead of reading you some comics and or playing my audio play adventures of superheroes and whatnot, I'm going to talk about two particular mini-series that came out over the course of the year. And well, maybe not completely compare and contrast them, but basically explain why one beat out the other in standards of excellence, and the other showed the great potential of doing the same, but just didn't get there. So, first of all, these are both DC Comics series, because Marvel can't produce anything worth a crap anymore. First, we'll deal with Mr. Miracle, the Jack Kirby character from his New Gods saga, and was probably the best series that he did out of that saga. So here you have Tom King's take on the story. And it begins off with some very mysterious little clues here and there, teases for something that just looks really foreboding and fascinating. And oh man, there's a payoff coming. And the art by Mitch Gerads is top notch and excellent. All kinds of little bells and whistles and tricks and gimmicks, if you will, that he does very well. It also takes this look at mental illness, mental disorders, depression, and suicide, and does it and grounded in reality. Is you forget about the superhero costumes and stuff, and this could happen to someone in this sort of a storyline or narrative. And of course, for Scott Free, the trauma begins all the way back at his infancy, when his father trades him between his father being High Father being traded over to Darkseid to end the Great Clash, which was the war between Apocalypse and New Genesis in the original story. And so they trade sons, and High Father gets Orion and Darkseid gets Scott Free. Scott Free it really ends up being raised by Granny Goodness in that horrible orphanage, and so on and so forth. So basically, his own father just threw him away to hell. He said, well, I had to stop a war, but does the war matter more to you than your own son? And it's hard to get there. And of course, Scott Free himself ends up with a similar, the exact same situation. And shows how he deals with it. And of course, it's not like he was ever going to forgive High Father for what happened, and he shouldn't. I don't see where you could. So in that respect, I understand him completely. The problem with depictions in a lot of art of mental illness and depression and suicide and whatnot is that it tends to romanticize it a bit much, as if that's the heroic nature of the man. And it comes across as a bit forced and fake, and it does so here. I don't know Tom King's experience. I know he was in the CIA in the Iraq War and that sort of thing. So it sounds like, he has a lot of experience with this, but this story tended to cheapen it a bit, way too much. I too have experience with this very closely, and so it's not handled as delicately as it should have been, and it comes across kind of cheap. But that's the least of the problems. The big problem here, there was not enough material in the narrative to warrant 12 issues. So then it commits yet another sin of storytelling. You see a lot, especially like in television and whatnot, is repetition. The same thing over and over again, and almost the same joke, if you will. The banter between Barda and Scott Free. I get it, and he's still doing it as if you had something. You didn't. Several issues here just were completely and utterly unnecessary. And like I said, I enjoyed Mitch Gerads' art, but there, due to the storytelling, it fell victim to this as well, where there's literally, you can just see it. The panels over and over again, all that sort of thing. Oh boy, did that get old fast. And there's the problem, perhaps, and I just say perhaps because the payoff, which I guess I won't reveal, I will reveal it. Yes, he committed suicide. He's in hell. The end. That's there's the big thing. Darkseid is, I don't know. Tom King is a con artist. Yeah, again, perhaps, just perhaps, if the thing had been shortened down to 4 to 5 issues, and even 5 is pushing it, it might have worked. But 12 was absolutely unnecessary. And yeah, I got fooled. I got hooked in. The imagery, the little teases and clues seemed really, you lied to me. So the follow-up to this is Tom King's Heroes in Crisis. I will not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole. And it's a damn shame because the artwork looks fantastic. It's gorgeous. And so it's terrible that it's wasted on this absurd story. I've seen the synopsis of the plot. It's no. And again, romanticizing it. That's not good. So, yeah, there. So, I'm not interested in Tom King's, work anymore. So when I see his name on it, that's a red flag. Don't go there. So the other, a series that came out that had the potential to be a classic and possibly even a masterpiece on par with Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns was Batman the White Knight. Boy, oh boy, and this thing just crushed Mr. Miracle. I don't think there was any intention for there to be a competition, but if you want to see it that way, oh boy, only one book really showed up. And that was White Knight. Again, mental illness does take sort of center stage here. And that's because of the Joker. Now, it's far more into the fantastic here, which is odd because you would think it wouldn't be, considering, the Batman stories, they don't involve superpowers unless he's in the Justice League or something like that. Whereas Scott Free, he's an alien from New Genesis and all that sort of thing. But here, the Joker, he takes these pills and they cure him of his insanity that makes him the Joker. Well, you need to take your meds, but it doesn't quite work that way. And plus, it appeared to physically alter him as his white skin turned to normal and his hair was brown. And so, that's probably the only weakness in it. The rest of it is just incredible to behold. The artwork, of course, is beautiful. And here it is. It's all Sean Gordon Murphy. It's his art, it's his story. And at this point, I don't know that I want to see him draw someone else's story anymore, because boy, man, did he really explode on the scene with this. And just great stuff. And his love of automobiles and the automobiles that don't really exist. It really shows through. And it's fun to watch and see it displayed. Of course, mental illness, and it's also the mirrors of Batman's own problems and his inability to walk away from Batman at times when he really should, because there's really no Bruce Wayne in this at all. He's totally succumbed to Batman. But there again, because it's so fantastical, I don't see it as being cheap as it was with Mr. Miracle, because it's not even trying to be grounded in total reality as Miracle did. So the rest of it, you do get teases and whatnot, but it all pays off. It's with this interesting story about the Wayne's background and working with Nazis and Dr. Freeze and all that, or Mr. Freeze rather, and so on and so forth. And then teases and stuff that it's just people call it fan services, if that's the way to throw it away. But no, it's all very good, because this is clearly connected with the narrative set by Batman the Animated Series, which is probably the best depiction of Batman ever. And so why not follow that? So it fits in with that somewhat. I mean, you know, you can take some liberties here and there. And another great thing it did, which I want to be canon. In fact, I want Sean Gordon Murphy to be given Batman. I think he should be take over the entire block of those comics and oversee all that. But anyway, one of the great gifts that I really enjoyed was this fascinating idea about Harley Quinn, in that there are two Harley Quinns. And there are. That Harley Quinn you're seeing right now, that supposed suicide girl, the faux punk girl, that's not Harley Quinn. The real Harley Quinn is either retired or still in prison or something. I don't know. But she's been replaced by this fraud. And that's an interesting idea that I think it undoubtedly is speaking to that. And the Joker's real love is the original Harley Quinn. And so, just for that alone, I want it to be canon, and I want Sean Gordon Murphy to take over Batman. He might be too busy to do that because he's doing a sequel to this one. And of course, I'm all excited about it, but at the same time, there's always that dread that, oh, what if he screws up? You know, but we'll see what he does. And I'm definitely giving him a chance. I have no interest in Heroes in Crisis, Mr. King. How could you? So there you go. Easily, Batman the White Knight is the one to check out. And if you haven't, you really should do so. It's Christmas time. Why not buy it for that? And do yourself a solid, because it's a great thing. Is it up there with Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns? You have to consider the times and what came before. Since then, there's been so many attempts at recapturing that, which is, if that's your initial motive, it's probably a mistake. Here we see something that's original, and certainly probably the best that Sean Gordon Murphy has done, and hopefully not the only best he's done. So I want to see more from this guy. But so it's hard to make that call, but it certainly has earned a place on the shelf with those two tomes, if you will. So very good, and looking forward to the next one. Hope it maintains the quality and perhaps even beats it. So we'll see. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, while you're here, why not like and subscribe? And take a look down below in the link description. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Bye-bye. Say, friends, check out Nailsin Theater at sellfy.com/Nailsin. Yes, there you'll find my Poor Man Mystery Science Theater treatment of public domain movies that really deserve the treatment. Yes, you can head over there and check out the links to my trailers to such films on my YouTube channel. Yeah, you can preview them and then head over back to sellfy.com/Nailsin and purchase yourself some Mr. Nailsin treatments of movies. I'll be right there to guide you through it.